All right, so welcome to the ACTOS Pedagogy training. Here, this is a program that has been collaboration with Monterey County Office of Ed and El Teatro Campesino through the creativity at the core with through CCSESA, and we're grateful for the opportunity to work and start infusing art into the classroom. Our training actually begins with a story. The story is, it's twofold because it's really about how theater first began to be used as an education vehicle for the Farm Workers Union. And so that takes us back to 1965, Cesar Chavez really needing to reach a broad audience of non-English speakers. And so one of the things that Cesar sat down and talked to my uncle Luis about was, how do we convey these issues and these facts about social justice and other living conditions without a uniformed language? And so my tío, who had just graduated from San Jose State, had brought along this model for theater. And really it is the invention of ACTO, which is a one act. And what it does is that it takes your basic antagonist, protagonist, creates a situation. It's meant to be done in about 15 minutes. That is the creation of the ACTO. What ACTOS is, as we move forward, is it becomes an arts integration pedagogy, which is what we're here to really talk about. But a phenomenal thing happened as the ACTO was put up on flatbed trucks. What was really prominent finding was that it could be done anywhere, with no props, with no costumes, sometimes agit-prop style, which is just a basic sign that said, I am the grower, I am the farm worker, I'm the policeman, I'm the social worker, whatever your topics were. One of the things that we're finding now as we move forward and working specifically with English language learners is that type of being able to create parts allows them to step into shoes of characters they might know nothing of, things that they might be learning. But it really does, the vehicle theater really does level the playing field for all our learners in the classroom. Through that, they went on for years and years creating ACTOS, and all one acts, different, various, and those have even moved forward to the Monterey Bay Aquarium is the most recent modern ACTO that they've done. Today what will happen is that I will do a brief overview of the ACTO pedagogy and then get us into the actual real nitty-gritty of what that looks like and what an opener would look like where we kind of fuse theater and media arts into the classroom. So one of the most important things to remember is that ACTOS is only a framework. It doesn't provide content, if you will. It provides a guide in how to actually implement arts into the classroom. What we're aiming for here, we're really excited here at the Monterey County Office of Education, is that we are looking to change the way artists assist the classrooms. We are no longer looking at them as the practitioner or the person that comes in and kind of steals the thunder in the classroom and then goes away after our residency is done. I've done that for many years and loved it and had great impact. But what we're really looking is a more sustainable, long-term mechanism for engagement in the classroom every day. So again, just a framework. So our first one starts with activating the learner. The best way probably to describe this to a group of educators would be that this is a lot like realia and kind of activating prior knowledge. And so what that entails is that we thrust the student directly into the art right away with very little instruction. Remember, one of the things that we want to start to see is student facilitation in 21st century classrooms. And so that's important, is to start to get them off right away. Here is where they basically move into this activity that you'll be doing in a bit. You'll be performing the actual, or participating in the actual activate portion of the pedagogy that I'm about to describe. That really is meant to put the student in the environment that they're learning. So if we were learning about the solar system, we might ask students to do a small one act about the solar system. We could say, I wonder what it's like to be Neptune, who no longer is a planet. And you really get them to do these on the spot, small circles, Vibrancy is a key word here, and the reason why is that our pedagogy, and really if you go back, our philosophy at Teatro Campesino is that we're all vibrant beings. And the vibrant being really is that each of us has a spark, and when that spark is activated, is a very powerful thing. But when that spark is activated in collaboration with other sparks, it creates a very powerful, impactful experience, whether it's on the stage, in the classroom is really where we're headed. So we're looking at vibrant learners. And that is part of the Vibrant Learning program that we're going to be putting together, and you'll see more content coming forth in the future through Monterey County Office of Ed. But really what we're looking at is creating vibrant classrooms, because we need engaging classrooms for students to be those 4 C's: creative, collaborative, critical thinking, and it's very important, and critical problem solving. So it's very important that we realize that this is not something that takes away from your everyday teaching. This is right along the lines with what Common Core classrooms should look like. So we activate a learner, very simple role play. And in our application, we'll be doing a media-driven, which we have found in the test pilots for this program, that media is a very strong activator and engager for the classroom. The next one is cultivating meaning and heart. We will touch briefly on this at the end of our activity, but cultivating meaning and heart, the reason why it's important is that a student will create a response to something that they've seen, and as soon as they've attached a personal emotion to that subject, whether it be science, math, but if you can get that done, the student now has a personal vested buy-in to kind of respect and honor his or her own feelings. So they want to learn more because they want to say, okay, I've invested this feeling, this made me feel this way, now I need to figure out why. And that's an important thing, because what we need is we need them to be able to synthesize. If you look at Common Core, they have to synthesize, and that's a key word, is synthesis. We need for our students to synthesize the subject matter they've been taught. A test is no longer acceptable. You need to demonstrate what they've learned. They have to demonstrate, how do you know that's the right answer? And so one of the ways that a key in the beginning of creating that engagement is really about getting them to cultivate a meaning or a feeling, something that's personal, and kind of infuse that on top of the subject matter. The second one is really a teach to learn, and that is where our teachers do regular Common Core skills. They do their lesson. It is related, sometimes in a very sneaky or disguised way, to the activity that we did right up at the top. So if we had done what does Neptune feel like, the teacher might go into the lesson about what makes a planet, right? What makes a planet a planet. And that's where they now have this activity that they did where they role played how Neptune might feel, not being a planet. And is it Neptune? I'm sorry, I might have, it's Pluto, sorry. So make sure to make that adjustment there. But Pluto is that what might Pluto have gone through, right, emotionally. And so what happens is that when they come to actually learn that what makes a planet, they'll learn about Pluto and how it got declassified, and they will also be engaged in the learning of the Common Core critical information. After that, we want to start to let students synthesize the information, both the information that we've given them artistically in the way of teaching them various actors' tools on how to convey their role plays, but then also infusing the technical and the factual content of the subject that they're being taught. So in this case, we're talking about the planets. At that point, you want them to get together into their vibrant circles, which is basically a learning group, learning pod, whatever you'd like to call them. And they get into that circle and they start to synthesize a script. And one of the reasons why we want to use the word script, it's highly important, is that if we look at Common Core state standards, the word script, I believe, is mentioned, and someone, I'm sure if Bob is in the audience, he'll tell you exactly how many times, but 47 times, I believe, is the number, as a means for students to comprehend text. And so the script is important because it means that we can utilize theater and still be in line with Common Core. So students will be writing a script. Now this is another accessible piece of information because we get a script which is written, which will have to create a dialogue format. It has to have subject matter, and so it's something that becomes accessible in terms of comprehension. It's something the teacher that will be able to collect and look at. Finally, after open minds, the students will then serve the learning community, and really here is where our media comes in. Because what we need to have happen is we need to utilize the media that's in our students' pockets. And no, not every student has one. I get asked that a lot, but it takes one camera phone in a group of 4 to get this activity done, to have this kind of experience. And now as we start to see the more importance of technology, what we have to remember is that Common Core testing is going to be done on computers. Students have to be able to navigate and utilize technology. So how do we engage them? We don't have time to add a computer classroom, our computer subject on its own. So you have to fuse it in. So this is where we are obeying the tide, as you will, as it's pushing us towards a 21st century learning environment. What we're seeing is that technology has to be at the forefront. And this is something that was thought of when we first started to look at long distance learning about a decade ago, and really looking at the power of media centers, media labs, media studios, is that it's important because it creates a connection. And so really serving our learning community is students sharing their video projects. It can be a PSA, it could be a music video if they want. Really, this is where it's being, it's allowing the students to be creative. That's highly important. Again, having a creative output, a place where students can do that, really does level the playing field, because English proficient speakers and English learners can participate in these activities equally, and their contributions can be equal, and they can collaborate, which builds the skills of our English language learners. So it's really important that we get into these vibrant learning circles, because that is where the true communication is coming from. That's where student facilitation comes from.
Oh yes, Y con la mano te aventaste. Te dije que íbamos a hacer un chingo de dinero. Te dije que íbamos a ser ricos. Te dije. Hey, boss. How do we do?
Terrible! Looks like we're going to get a federal subsidy!
¡Épale! ¿Dónde está mi dinero?
¡Ah! ¿Qué dinero?
Pues el que gané todo el verano.
¡Ay! ¿Sabes lo que más me choca de ti, aparte de ser tan pequeña? Es que tú eres una tonta. Sí, tonta. Tú no sabes cómo cuidar tu dinero. Ahora, check out my boss. Sí, sí sabe cómo guardar su dinero.
¡Ese es mi dinero!
No, güerita, él no se llevó tu dinero. Mira, el que se llevó tu dinero
Hey!
No. Dije, él no se llevó tu dinero.
Entonces, ¿quién lo tiene?
Autumn has your money.
Puras papas, no te creo.
You don't believe me? Ay, Virgencita, ilumina tu camino, por favor. You still don't believe me?
No.
Ni modo. Look, this autumn's coming fast. Fatter than summer before. Look, if you work for me, you'll be able to buy yourself a brand new car. A Cadillac. Hell, 2 Cadillacs. You'll be able to send your kids off to college.
¿Colegio?
Ajá. En Acapulco, Guadalajara, ahí en Hawái.
¿Cómo?
Hawái. So, what do you say? ¿Trabajas por mí?
No.
Whatever. I don't give a damn. But winter is coming.
Winter?
El invierno. Lillo, yo soy tu tío, Lillo.
Boy! You got my fall crew ready!
Right here, boss. Un lado para acá.
Fall! Get in here!
¡Épale, mamita!
¡Epa! ¡Ese es mi dinero! ¡Te estás robando mi dinero!
¡Golazo!
Boy!
Boss, I didn't mean to. But look, rubber soles.
I like the way you do that!
You do, boss?
Yeah, I do!
Well, I can do it again. Look.
If there's anything this company needs, it is discipline and control of our workers!
Sí, señor. Disciplina y control de todos los mexicanos.
And just to show your appreciation for what you do for the company, the corporation,